Anin bonjour, everyone. Thank you for checking out our Indigenous team newsletter once again. I wanted to share a short message with you about the importance of the earth, of the land. In this month of April, we have Earth Day as part of this month, and I'm sure that we would all agree that every day should be Earth Day. But it's still really good to highlight the importance of that and remind everyone of the importance of taking care of the earth. And our schools give those land acknowledgements. Where we speak about the land, and that's important because that's something that grounds us. Like when we are grounded in the blessing of giving thanks for this land, giving thanks for the earth, for this planet. And so I guess my message to you is just, if we just really take that in. And if we think about those four elements, the four elements that are earth, fire, water, and air, those elements are things that we cannot be here without. And so I think that in itself is the strongest message that one can give, that one can receive, is to bring us back home, centered in that knowing that, those are gifts, those are blessings that we cannot be here without. And so, everything comes from that earth, from that land. And so I guess I celebrate that and share that message with you, encourage you, and inspire you, hopefully, to to do those things with your students, to do those things within your own personal lives. It's just that feeling of that connection, to give thanks, to stop and give thanks for that gift of water, to stop and give thanks for that gift of breath, for this air that we have to breathe. And we're in times right now with this pandemic. We're currently in a third wave, where restrictions have are yet upon us, and it's a scary time with the numbers and with the virus. The variants that are spreading, and so it's very scary times filled with a lot of anxiety and stress for us. And I guess that's where we have to be there for one another, to offer encouragement to one another, to offer these for myself, offering these words to just remember that you are connected to this land, that even if we're just confined to our homes and confined to being again restricted for a while longer, whether you live in a place that's out in the country where you've got a nice big yard and land around you, or whether you're in a city and you've got a lot of pavement and sidewalks, and the land is always right there. It's underneath those sidewalks. It's underneath that concrete. If you live in an apartment building, up off of the first floor, it's okay. That's those are your homes. Those are the places we live. But that earth is underneath. The earth is always there to support us, no matter what. And when we have that water, we breathe without even thinking about it. But we have to remember what helps us to do those things is this gift of life. And so let's just treasure that. Let's honor that, and do what we can to ensure that the land, the water, the air, that all those things are taken care of for those younger generations, for those yet to come. We think 7 generations ahead. That's what we are taught as Anishinaabe, to think 7 generations ahead, so that it removes us from just this this is all about me. This is all about right now. You know what? It's about the future. It's about those future generations that aren't even here yet. So let's just broaden those horizons, broaden that perspective, and just be connected back to that land. Even that word shkoda, the word for fire in our Anishinaabe language, fire is shkoda. The ending of that word is da, which is the word for heart. So I love that, because I think about, we think about fire, we think about that as, that sun that gives us light, and that energy and heat that heats our home and we cook with and we need to fuel things. But that fire is also can be that fire within our own selves, that spark within our own selves. And so I encourage that, like connect with that spark, that brings you back home to yourself, that brings you back home to that centering, that grounding. Um, and I think that's what's needed, definitely needed in this time of this pandemic that continues to be ongoing. And at times it feels like it's spiraling and spiraling out of control. And we have to be able to maintain as best we can that good health within ourselves. So let that spark that connects you, that brings you heart centered, that connects you home, um, to be something that you also are aware of and celebrate as part of all that. The name of our newsletter, Giiwenh, so it goes, or no, sorry, so the story goes. It also has another meaning, spelt Giiwe, Giiwenh, same pronunciation. That word means home. We use that to say Nui Giiwenh, I'm going home. I'm back Giiwenh though, let's go home. So very much the same pronunciation. Giiwenh is that home, and Jamie and I were speaking about that, and that whole meaning about, so the story goes. So what's going on in the world around us, what's going on in our own lives, within our own families, our own communities. And here I am trying to connect you back to that heart, to that spark within, connecting us to the land. And that's what it's about. So the story goes, as our newsletter name, is really lovely, because the stories that we tell, the stories that we love to hear, the stories, that get created, can have so much power to bring us back home. And so I love how that ties in with the other pronunciation or the other spelling of Giiwenh, meaning home. Let these stories bring you home. Let the things that we share, the things that you hear in our newsletter or in my messages, I hope they help you to just bring you back home to yourself, back home to your heart, to reconnect you to that part of your own self, to that part of your own life, as reminders of how special you are, how precious this life is. And in the midst of so much stress in all the work that's being done in the schools and online learning, in the virtual school, but also in-person schooling, moving to online and back and forth. There's a lot of pressure and stress on everyone. So I hope that this message just can connect you, your feet solid on that earth, on that ground, to remember that Earth Day is every day to give thanks for this gift of life, and those elements, those four elements that remind us that without those four elements we would not be able to be here. So let's just connect back in with these gifts of nature, and remember the sacredness of all of that. I love to say that everything, there's so much sacredness between the earth and the sky. And because, like when you think about the things that are here beside us as human beings, those animals, those four-leggeds, those that crawl, those that fly in the sky, the trees that, reach up to the sky world, all of those things, the things in the water. So there's just sacredness all around us, absolute sacredness all around us. So there we go. So the story goes. Let it bring you back home to self, and stay safe, stay well, and just hopefully feel supported, and remember that this gift of life is precious, and the school year is going on really fast from here till June, and just best wishes to all. I'll hope to see you next month, and miigwech for tuning in to this month's newsletter. Miigwech. Miigwech.